Finally, I'm caught up on the reviews for 12 Monkeys. Well, I will be after this review. This is the review I'm giving for the most recent episode, 12 Monkeys Fatherland. This episode was great. It was that divide that I was talking about in the previous review for the last episode between Cole and Ramses and Cassie was very apparent in this episode, and the episode is stronger for it. So basically, Cole wants to go back to where the time where that paradox happened to save, to stop it from happening. And Cassie and Ramses agree to go with him, or so he thinks. Really, they send him back to that. They do go back to that time, but their real goal is to go the next year to try to get information on the witness. And while this is going on in the future, in 2044, the Red Force is about to consume the whole facility. So this is probably the last splinter they're going to be able to do, or one of the last splinters they're going to be able to do. So it's very, like, it's one of those missions where you had to finish it or else, it's over, basically. So when they get to the year they're going to, 1950 something, it was during the Cold War, Ramses and Cassie drug Cole, and basically they go to Berlin to find this ex-Nazi scientist who knows something about the witness. And they go there, and Cole gets contacted by Agent Gale, who was in the previous few episodes, but now he's works at the CIA. Cole reaches out and says, can you find them? And so basically you figure out they're in East Berlin. And so Cole and the agent, what is his name? Let me see. Agent Gale go to stop them from doing anything stupid and basically to do what they need to do. So so Cassie and Ramses get the scientist at the theater before this group of Israelis does, because he's an ex-Nazi. He killed people in the camps at Auschwitz and such, and so these Israeli mobsters hate him, and so they're torturing him. Because even though Ramses and Cassie got to him first, they were able to catch up with him, and they put Ramses and Cassie in one room and put the scientists the other, and they're torturing him. And Cole swoops in with Agent Gale, and they save them basically from these mobsters, and they had to cross to West Berlin, where the scientist lab is, because you figure out he had literally genetically made the messengers. And so they go across to destroy the research and basically make it so the messengers never existed, so the paradoxes never existed. And Agent Gale sacrifices himself crossing the border to save Cole and Ramses and Cassie, because he realized the gravity of the whole situation. Like, this is the end of the world you're talking about. And it was a really great moment. It was a really emotional moment, and Agent Gale went off with a great he ended in a great way. His arc ended, but I'm pretty sure he said earlier that they had met many times, so I'm sure we'll see him again in the past. But they go over to the lab, and basically there's a map of where the witness is. And Ramses basically has to decide, do I help Cole kill this girl who was genetically engineered to become a messenger, and so that ends, so the paradoxes end, or do I grab this map, figure out where the messenger is, go and try to kill him and stop him that way, and get revenge for my son's demise? And so Ramses, of course, goes with the map, rips it off, and both of them go to the past. And basically the episode ends with Cole telling the men at the facility to put Cassie and Ramses in a jail cell for what they did, because they really messed up the plan. Because if Cole would have killed that girl, then the whole problem would have been solved, but Ramses wouldn't help. And so now the Red Force is moving in. Cassie and Ramses are in a cell, you know, for what they did, and Cole is basically, he's trying to figure out, Cole and Jones are gonna have to find a way to save time again with the little time they have with the Red Forest moving in. So this episode was great. It was a great period piece that they made everything, like the camera, a little bit more dull to fit the Soviet era type time that they were in. Agent Gale came back and he was a great character. He was a great character in the first episode he was in, and all around great performances by everybody. And you know, the motivations were clear, the motivations were reasonable. It's not like anybody did something that was unpredictable. But I mean, I had to give this episode I'd give it a 9 out of 10, because this episode was great, but it wasn't as necessarily as cool as some of the other period pieces. Like, I don't think they delved into it as much as they should have. But that's just my personal opinion, so I still give it a 9, because this episode was amazing. You're going to love it whenever you go and watch it. And so I give this episode, Fatherland, 12 Monkeys, a 9 out of 10. This is Side from Scroll signing off.